This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard, my little advanced, super futuristic, amazing technological stream. Yo, Hinata, do you know that there's a new command? I am both. I got enough water here for the whole night. So there's a new command, or there's a hack that's being tested right now that everybody can use, and all you have to do is type in !spam, and you'll roll and what'll happen is you'll roll a dice, 20-sided dice, and depending on what you get between 1 and 20, it'll multiply by 5, and you'll spam the chat for that many times 5 messages. So if you roll an 8 times 5, you'll spam the chat for 40 messages, and it'll fill up the meter by 40 messages worth of, increase. And then there's also a percentage, like a 5% chance per message for you to reveal a core. Yep. That's sick. Hey. Nice. That's awesome. It's on cooldown now, so like, if anybody tries to type spam again, it'll be like, yeah, for real. So right now it's on a 10-minute cooldown, but the way it's gonna work, essentially, I'm not gonna go that deep into it. I know I always say that, but so the way it's gonna work is that there's going to be 4 main categories of so right now it's just a test. It's pretty much complete, like I have it set up how I want it. All the testing has worked, but I'm going to it's still going to be kind of I'll let y'all kind of use it for now just for fun, although y'all are getting like free core for it, but it's it's fun. So it's the way it's going to work is that I'm building out 4 different skill trees. So like a RPG game, right, where you can unlock abilities for like different things like stealth, attack, whatever. So like essentially the 4 categories are going to be comms, cargo, attack, and defense. And if you level up certain ones, they will unlock certain abilities within the stream. So this hack in particular, this one that's the spam hack or whatever, it's going to have a different name, but that's going to be a comms ability. So if you level up your comms to level 3, you will unlock this ability, and you'll be able to do it every 2 hours. And essentially, when you first get it, you're only going to be able to increase the meter. You're not going to have the ability to unlock core from it. Like, you won't be able to reveal core from it. It'll only increase the meter. So you'll still get more core essentially, but it'll only boost the meter up. And so you still have to collect, you know, in order to like get it. But you can still do it strategically. Like, if you see the meter get close to collect, you can, you know, use that spam thing. But the only way you're going to be able to even use spam is if you have leveled up your comms to at least level 3, which costs 60 total, because you have to level up. Each level up costs like 10 times the number, right? So if you level up to level 1, it's going to cost 10. Level up to 22, it's going to cost 20. Level up to 3, it's going to cost 30. So all together, it's going to be 60 to get that ability. But it's the signature ability for comms. So if you want to be if you want to more so focus on hacking people, like actual people in the chat, then you're going to want to level up your attack, because attack at level 1, attack, it's going to unlock the ability to just hack in general. So, and it costs 10 core to get level 1, but it unlocks the basic hack. It allows you to, most hacks are going to say you need attack level 1 to even use this hack. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a requirement. But level 3 is where you get to target people. So if you upgrade your attacks and you like to hack other people, you'll be able to do a debuff essentially and target someone specifically in the chat, and you'll make all of their, like, you know how just now, like when you rolled for the spam and you got like a 16. So essentially it's doing a random out of 20. And on the stream, you'll actually see a dice roll. Right now I'm setting up how it's going to communicate between the two, but on stream you'll hit a roll for like all of these games. Even for the spam, you're going to do a roll. You'll see a dice roll on the screen with the colors of your ship, and it'll show like your name, and it'll say like what you got. So you'll see the actual roll happen rather than it just showing you an output of a number on the chat. So essentially, the dice roll is going to be the backbone of the whole combat system. So with the targeting ability that attack can have, you can actually lower a certain target's rolls for like a certain period of time. So if you want to target one person, you can lower all of their rolls by like 2 for the next like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you can attack, they're more susceptible to you attacking them and hacking them. Because they're gonna have to roll, like whenever you hack somebody, they're gonna have to roll as well. And if your roll beats their roll, then you're gonna initiate the hack thing. And so if you initiate it, then y'all gonna fight each other based off rolls. Whatever. But okay, anyways, moving on. Defense will give, I'm not gonna go that deep, because I can talk about cargo, I can talk about defense, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And so if there's going to be synergies as well. So if you decide to level up comms, which is the one we talked about, the spam one, and if you level up attack, which is the hack one that we talked about, targeting people, you'll actually be able to synergize them, and you'll be able to make your hacks invisible to the chat, because you'll have your attack and your comms working together, so you can hack without and use the chat to your advantage, you know. So people won't know that you're hacking them. But there's synergies like that with each category, each of the 4. If you connect comms with cargo, it's going to unlock unique streamware and unique fonts and unique sound effects for whenever you type in the chat. because like right now everybody has the same ping sound effect, but you'll be able to unlock different sound effects if you decide to level up your comms, because comms is all about the chat and stuff like that. So just like on RDC, how people have donos that pop up on the screen and they pay money for donos so they can be seen a little bit more by everybody. I'm essentially going to have the same thing, but there's going to be a comms ability that's going to mimic a dono too. So even if you don't have money for a dono, if you decide to level up your comms, you'll be able to do a dono on cooldown, just like you did the spam on cooldown. You'll be able to like do like 2 dono like super chats per stream, or essentially if you do the command, your message will pop up on stream in front of on a bigger platform. But that's if comms is what you want to like level up in, you know what I mean? But there's other stuff too. There's cargo is all about streamware. So like cargo is all about streamware, right? So like all of the items that you can get, like your Santa hat, all of the like unique stuff, like you'll have access to. So for the people who want to like play the game to unlock stuff, like unlock items, this is like what you would upgrade, the skill tree that you would upgrade in, which essentially would give you access to the most exclusive items in the store, and it'll also allow you to like carry more things. And there's a mechanic, so just like this mechanic right here where it spams the message, and that's how that works. It fills up the meter, it floods the chat. So like the first, real quick, just going back to that, I know you're following me, so I'll keep going. So each of these are like signature abilities for the categories. So spam is going to be associated with like the chat. So you'll know somebody's spamming the chat, they've leveled up their comms ability. That's their skill tree. And if you know somebody's hacking somebody else, that's their attack. They're one of the attack people, like Pokemon, like Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle type vibe. So like the spam, the first version, it'll only spam so many messages and it'll be random just like that. But if you upgrade it, you can unlock the ability to reveal core every so often when you do the same ability. And then if you want to upgrade it in another direction, you can upgrade it to where, so like right now, that version that you just did is the upgraded version. That's like the high tier version that allows you to get like 3 core every time you do it. But however, whenever you level up to that amount, it's going to cost more core to upgrade stuff. So it's essentially a way to gain more core from, as you progress, because it's going to cost more core. So if you can do that, every 2 hours, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get up to like 200 core over time, because that next upgrade will cost somewhere close to like 100 core, if you want to get to like level 10. So each category has a mechanic to level up how much core you can get down the line. So for the spam one, that's how they're seen first and foremost, and they fill the meter as well. And then the other one, they can get core, at a higher level. And then the last one is they can customize the text that floods the chat. So essentially, if you want to flood the chat with 45 lines of something you want to type, you can make that happen, Of course, if somebody wants to troll, I'm setting the entry point high for that ability, so you're gonna have to like level up quite a bit and be in the stream actively quite a bit to even get that ability. So it's not gonna be something for like just anybody to have, you know what I mean? Okay, so moving on to cargo, right? So spamming the chat will be comms. So comms is all about communication. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so cargo is all about streamware and exclusive items, right? So cargo is going to have an ability like spam that's going to be on. Yeah, exactly. You're actually going to have to like be in Space Game to even do that kind of stuff. So cargo their ability is going to be loot box. So on a cooldown, probably like once a stream, and then if they level it up, it'll be like twice a stream. They can do a loot box where there's a percentage. You're guaranteed to get at least some odd core, and then there's a higher percentage where you get so much core, and then I think the most core you can get from a loot box at a low level is like 7 per loot box, and then there's also a percentage that you can get like common and uncommon, like streamwear, like basic stuff like name flame, or like the halo or something, right? But there's like a low, it's a low chance, and there's gonna be other streamwear that's like more in between streamwear before we get to the wingman stuff. So loot box will be like people who want to focus on getting loot. That's gonna be their thing, and it essentially is gonna like randomize an item or like an amount of money for them, whatever. So, but loot box will be a thing where you can like synergize with other categories. So say if you want to do a cargo mixed with attack, your loot box will then you'll get a loot box that now has the ability to give you basic hacks at a percentage, and it'll increase also how much core you get overall. It'll be like an upgraded loot box, but it'll be for like attacks. And then if you synergize with defense, it'll be a thing where you get a loot box that gives you more defense hacks and abilities. And then same thing with comms. If you level it up with comms, you'll get loot boxes that actually have a chance to unlock unique fonts and unique sound effects, at the same type of percentage. So it's like you can kind of like synergize with what other kind of playstyle you want, but you can only pick one. I think you might. It sounds like you're going to be a comms person. I think you like the comms abilities. There's going to be custom fonts that you can have and custom backgrounds for your chat. Like right now, there's a little spaceship that comes in. That's not how that's also a test. That's actually for like whenever you get a spaceship. That's kind of like the placeholder right now for like how it's going to look and fly in and stuff whenever you type in the chat. So you can see a spaceship every day, pretty much. Let's see. So comms, essentially, whenever you type in the chat and stuff, you'll have the like unique stuff, and you'll be able to like flood the chat and kind of control chat. You'll have like little tricks that you can do to control chat, but it'll also boost meter and stuff like that. So it's pretty strong on its own. I think it's really cool because y'all get to kind of boost the meter at a random amount too. I think that's pretty powerful. But the attackers, essentially, they're more so focused on kind of keeping the balance, sort of, by like everybody who's gaining core, they're going to be the ones that get core from taking core. And that's going to be what their like basic hack that they can do every day is. Just like, chat, comms can spam the chat and get core. Cargo can do their loot boxes for a percentage, and then attackers can hack somebody, each day, or on cooldown or whatever. And then defense, they have an ability that's more of a passive ability. So the defense signature ability is called like I don't know what it's called yet, but the placeholder name for it's a shield matrix. But essentially, and once you level up to the upper 5 levels, that's when stuff really starts to get more crazy. Like all the abilities that you could do, like if you upgrade your attack high enough, you can, like I said, you can do stealth hacks. You can get more exclusive hacks, and then you can also do multi hacks where you can hack like 3 to 5 people at a time. And then and there's stuff for other stuff too, like with cargo. Like if you decide to, like say with the cargo one, right, like I mentioned before, if you, like I said, if you get cargo and attack, you can get exclusive hacks, or sorry, you can get hacks in your loot box. And if you do comms with hacks, or if you do comms with cargo, you can get exclusive fonts in your loot box. And if you do shield with that, you can get exclusive shield stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's more of like a higher level attack ability. But if you decide to do cargo with cargo and you double down on cargo, your loot box will then give you more chances to get a encrypted item. And an encrypted item will pop up here and there, but there'll be items with like 3 question marks, and the only people that can reveal what the item is are people with the high enough cargo level. So essentially, if other people stumble across an encrypted item, they're gonna have to go to somebody with a cargo level at a certain level and try to bargain with them to get for them to unencrypt their item for them, because they're gonna get 1 per stream, like 1 decrypt per stream. But the items that they decrypt are the ones that are gonna be the most exclusive, like the higher level items and stuff. But so that's for like people with like streamwear and stuff like that. Yeah, and also they're gonna be the only ones that can sell and like, yeah, sell streamwear essentially, like trade. I would say more so trade. Like they're gonna, at a higher level, they're gonna be like a second shop essentially, where like the items that aren't in the shop, that they have, that they're gonna be able to like sell to, trade to people for money if they want to. But they're gonna be the only ones with that ability, because essentially at that point they're gonna have probably more streamwear than anybody else. So, and other people might want what they have, you know what I mean? Like the items, if they have something like really unique, somebody might, buy it from them. And so defense, the last one. Defense is for people that are like to play like, yeah, it essentially like promotes an economy. Like the store is gonna have a certain amount of stuff, but each one of them, whoever decides, it's gonna be higher level people too. So it's gonna cost at least like, to get to like level 7, level 8. That's around where you would unlock that kind of stuff. Or even level 5, it'll cost how much core to get? I think it's 150 to get to level 5. And then from there it starts to ramp up. It's like 210 to get to level 6 and 280 to get to level 7. So if you're like around there, you've already spent like close to 300 in that one category. So it's not going to be a lot of people with that ability. So it kind of makes it more exclusive. Like each one, like attack will get the multi-hack, cargo will get the ability to trade, and defense will have one too. Like they actually already have one. But okay, so this is the last thing I'll explain, just so I don't overload you. The defensive people, their playstyle is more passive and like lurking. Like it's pretty much like if you're a lurker and you just prefer to like kind of still get core without being too like active, and you want to play more of a team game, then you would play on that. You would upgrade your defense, and defense also protects you from hacks essentially as well. And defense also boosts your ability to survive in like battles, obviously, you know what I mean? But essentially defense's main ability, just like how comms has the spam, cargo has the loot box, attack has the hack, defense is going to have a shield matrix code name right now. Yeah. Okay, so essentially with defense, it's going to be, there's going to be a second meter. Like right now we have the core meter, right? And the core meter only moves up whenever somebody types in the chat. So, however, with the defense, y'all are going to unlock an ability that's going to allow y'all to pretty much fill up a meter that fills up over time. And depending on how high your level is on defense, it's going to increase how fast that meter fills up. So it's not about typing in a message in chat. It's just going to be about teamwork and so forth. So if there's only one person that has that defensive ability and they level up their defense, that meter is going to fill up probably once every like 45 minutes, 45 minutes. And they're going to be the only ones that can collect from it because nobody else has that ability. So the only way you can collect from that meter is if you have that ability that contributes to that meter filling up. And it'll work similar to the core meter, to where you have to type in like a command to collect it. But essentially it's more of like an elevated pool that's, you can still collect from both, but it's more of like a, exclusive pool. So, but it adds up over time, because essentially if you're filling up this meter like 1.5 times an hour, so say like 3 times every 2 hours, people are going to start to be like, oh wait, I want to get in on that. You know what I mean? Like if you're constantly just collecting over time, and that really adds up over a stream. If you're somebody that lurks and you're here just to kind of vibe out and stuff like that, you essentially it will have your own meter that you can collect from, on top of the other stuff that you get collections from. So, and y'all have more abilities that will kind of, there's other stuff too. I don't want to get too deep, but that's essentially the main mechanic for it. And you can upgrade how fast you specifically boost up the meter, or you can do things where you can like, you can get core back. Like if somebody fails a hack towards you, you can actually take core from that person back. There's like different play styles you can do on defense, but it's like you're either going to get more core from playing counter defense, or you're going to get more core from playing the play style of like lurking. But you have to choose like one or the other. But at the highest level of defense, you unlock the ability to, every time that bonus meter fills up, you're always going to get the collect on it. On top of whoever else collects, you will always get that same. So like it's like a perpetual effect where you're constantly getting a certain amount every like some odd minutes. But that's at the highest level. That's like once you've already spent like 500 or 400 in the category type thing. But there's more to it. There's like abilities to like protect people from getting hacked, to like stopping all hacks for like a certain amount of time on cooldown every stream. There's ones where you can target another person in the chat and boost all of their roles for the next like 15 or 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah. So like say one person's a defensive person and another person's a comms person, and the comms person talks to the defensive person, is like, hey, I'm about to do a spam, can you boost me? And the defensive person's like, yeah, sure. But also that boost, you only get to do it so many times a stream. So it's not like you get to do it whenever you want. Like a lot of these things will be like once a stream, or once every like 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. So essentially you can boost that person's spam, and that spam, instead of it only going up to 20, say if they hit a 20, that boost, if you boost a lot, can go up to like 25 or like 26 or whatever. And if somebody else boosted on top, it would stack. on top of like whatever they roll. So it's more of like you kind of playing a teamwork game with that, and you're getting more core based off of like, you know, team efforts and stuff. So they're all unique play styles, and they're all just kind of like highlight different types of personalities too. And you can mix and match them too. Obviously, they're all different categories that you can level up. So you can essentially find a defensive play style. So like, say if you want to play comms, but the comms that you want to level up is more like a cargo style comms. So your comms are not really about like spamming the chat and stuff like that, but more so getting like all of the like unique abilities, the unique fonts and unique sound effects, and like getting all the stuff that shows like your, like getting more of the like super chats or the donations, right? Like getting more of those a stream, so you're more noticed and stuff like that, and you don't want to do all the other stuff. And then say if you want on your defensive style, you want to play more like a counter style. So anytime somebody tries to target you, you can get core back, you know. And then if you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different ways of playing it. Or you can play a defensive style that's more like based around, you know, steady progression type thing. But it's very simple at its core. It's only 4 categories, but like just like putting them together really expands like the potential of it. It's cool that you heard all that too. But yeah, that's essentially what's gonna be happening. Yeah, I've already been building it. I'm just not going live with it yet. I've been filling up the inventory with all of the abilities, because there's a lot of abilities in each category and with the synergies and stuff. Yeah, that's crazy. Y'all were in that movie for a long ass time. What's up, Jax? Yo, Hanada, the spam should be cooled down, by the way, just so you know. You're watching Lord of the Rings, 2 Towers or whatever, 2 Kings. Fellowship of the Ring, yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I'm really excited with how this is gonna turn out. I'm telling y'all. I just gotta finalize all the abilities, because I gotta really organize. It essentially comes down to the abilities, but I have the structure, I have the logic. I've already been building out how the level up system is gonna work. And like I can, right now there's a command to level up right now, but I don't want y'all to waste your core, because it's not gonna actually level you up. But it works like it's supposed to. It's just not live because it's not fully, you know, wired to where you actually get your abilities and you get to choose between which one you want and stuff. Dude, I think it's gonna really expand everybody's playstyle. Hold on. Jax, since you're here, bro. Wait, let me show you this lap, because I stopped talking about the synergies because we got raided. But I really do want to share just I just want to finish, because sharing the synergies since you're here, because I already told you all this stuff, so you know. But I made some developments that I feel like are going to be permanent, for sure. I'm not gonna spend too much more time on this. Play this song real quick. Keep the beat going. All right, you said defense synergies. So, like I mentioned before, synergies unlock at level 6 for all categories. Yeah, so for each skill tree, you'll get to choose a synergy for that skill tree. So you can either, for attack, you'll be able to choose attack, comms, attack defense, attack cargo. You said defense, that was the one you're looking at? So let me make sure I got this correct. Defense, auto matrix. Oh yeah, these are the ones I talked to. Yeah. I don't know if you heard. I said this earlier to Nuki, but I'm not sure if you were here. But this is definitely what I'm keeping for sure. Okay, so auto matrix. Always collect shield matrix rewards. I think I might switch that to a defense ability, so it's more exclusive. Because you're missing out on a few other I'll see. I think I might. Okay. Before I get into that, let's get to what's the one I know for sure. So cover and recover. Wait, so Jax, were you here when I explained this already? Cover and recover. To be honest, I could cut off the YouTube feed and go just straight to Twitch because it's a little bit faster. Because there's more of a delay when I stream to both. Okay, you're all good. Okay, so defense, it's gonna give you these two attack abilities, but they're active abilities. They're ones that you actually type in the chat, like commands. So there's cover and recover. So they're ones that you can do during like mid-fight, and there won't be a lot of abilities that you could do mid-fight that are active abilities. So essentially these are like two Pokemon moves that you get. So cover, in the middle of the fight, you roll a dice to deploy a shield for the fight. However, when you roll the dice, I think it's going to be somewhere like 10 HP. Like you'll have like 20 HP, and you can roll for a maximum of like 10 HP or something. But it's only for that fight, right? And so in recover, you'll be able to roll a dice to heal back HP as well, and about the same amount, 10 as well, essentially. Um, so armor is going to work differently than health, HP. So armor is going to be a thing that's only available to, well, let's get into it. Yeah. So yeah, cover is like a deployable shield. So you put up pretty much like an armor for, plus 10 hit points or whatever. And then recovery is like a heal thing. However, the thing about recovery is that you can do that with other people too. So you can heal other people, especially in like team events. You'll be able to heal people and cover people. Essentially, you'll be able to target people with those two abilities as well. So, okay, so that's defense, right? And that's an ability that only defense has. Now, this song is kind of dumb, yeah. All right, this is cool. All right, let me move faster. Okay, so defense and comms, perception scan. So this is essentially defense with the chat, mixing both of those abilities, like chat control or whatever. Perception scan, detect stealth hacks, D20 roll plus defensive level. So I'm thinking this isn't the final thing at all. I think this one will be more of specifically controlling the chat and with defense. So like, hey, that's awesome. What's up, Wyatt? How you doing? Yeah, I'm over here just talking about a few things coming up. I'm good. I'm doing well. Yeah, so essentially, I think what I'm going to do is it's going to be more of a... So yeah, essentially, you'll be able to do a scan kind of thing where you can scan the chat like a perception check. And so it's not going to be 100% correct all the time, but it'll be you'll have the advantage essentially. You know what I mean? Like you'll have more of an advantage, and they're going to have to more so like, you'll have to roll like less than a 5 or something for it not to work. You know what I mean? Let's see. And the, that's awesome. And so defense helps in general, just from being hacked in general. But this one in particular, the scans has to do with the the chat, the comms, right? And so another thing that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to silence all incoming hacks in the chat. Like you'll be able to like disable all hacks for like 15 minutes on a like maybe like once a stream or like on a cooldown or something. But yeah, if you have defense and comms both up to like level 6, when you have the synergy, you'll be able to like yeah, we out here, the crew's out here in the stars. Okay, let's move forward. So this is cool to me right here. Defense and cargo. So with defense and cargo, you'll be able to buy armor plating in this store. Yeah, for sure. I want it to be more like you have like they're powerful, but you have to like pick the timing, you know. And once the stream is solid, because there's a lot. You get like a core, each stream, and it's still a pretty decent amount. You know? Okay, so let's continue. I like the last song more, to be honest. Okay, let's keep going. So I think okay, armor plating. Let's go. I'm excited, so I'm like kind of slowing down because I'm like imagining it while I'm talking about it. But let me proceed. Okay. So defense and cargo. Obviously, cargo is more based around like being able to have like exclusive like items. You know, being able to buy like exclusive items, or like, you know, having that kind of stuff. So mixing that with defense is that you can buy armor plating in the store, right? So that's a unique thing. You know, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, they're the only ones that can get it. So our armor is essentially only for defense and cargo types. However, the armor that they get only applies to the next battle, and it costs money. So essentially, they're gonna have to pay money for that, you know, extra armor in a fight. However, the armor that they get will be more than the armor that you get for a cover for defense. Like, if you roll like a 20 on a cover, that might give you like 10 cover, you know what I mean? And if you have another perk, that might give you like 12 armor in the fight, you know what I mean? But if you have a high enough level defense and cargo, you'll be able to, so like defense armor plating will probably be somewhere around like 12 to 15. Like the heaviest, the hardest people to fight will be defense cargo types, but with the armor on top. And if the defense and cargo is synergized, then you'll be able to unlock like legendary armor. So you'll be able to get armor that's even, you're more of a fortress to try to go against. And so if you have the like, you know how I mentioned before, like there's a difference between, you know, defense and cargo and defense, right? So this is defense and cargo. That's tough. So the GPT threw in their repair kits. I'm not sure if I want that to be a thing. If I do, the repair kits are going to be probably for like 5 health, as opposed to the defense types who are going to be able to, yeah, I'll probably do that. Repair kits will probably be like 5 health, and the recover from the defense type will be more of like a higher, they'll have a higher ability to heal, and their armor ability won't be as strong as the cargo, you know what I mean? Let's see. And then defense attack, real quick, let me I'll give you the opposite of cargo defense. I've been kind of like in between, like, should I just go all defense and then all cargo, and then, but I'll just give you the cargo version of that as well at the same time. So cargo, if you get cargo on the cargo skill tree and you go cargo defense, you'll cargo's going to have an ability that gets a vault, right? In a vault, they'll be able to put in like 2 of their streamwear or 2 items in their vault that can't be hacked or lost unless there's only one thing that can penetrate a vault. But essentially it's a safe keeper, you know, for most of the game. And if you go defense, and if you go cargo and you upgrade your defense, you'll essentially get more. Exactly. If you level up your cargo and you go defense energy, you'll get more stash spots for your vault, essentially. But if you put both of them together, you'll get the vault, you'll get the armor, and then you'll get access to legendary armor and like a buff to your vault. And essentially, when you're buying all this legendary armor and stuff, you know, cargo people, they also have passive abilities that gets them like discounts in the store instead of getting like +1 to their attacks and rolls and defensive rolls. They get more like -1 or -2 to like items in the store. And so defense and attack is reflect and counter, right? Yeah. So if you have defense and attack, so if you're on the defense skill tree and you have attack secondary, right, synergy, it'll be to where you can reflect somebody's hack back at them. You have a percentage every time somebody hacks you. There's a percentage that you can actually reflect it back to them, and that's if you have 6 attack and 6 defense. So if somebody comes at you with like a pretty strong hack, and so on the opposite, if you get attack, let me turn the music down a little bit. Okay, so on the opposite side, if you level up your attack and you get defense as a secondary, you get a counter. And so what a counter does is that if somebody has a low defensive roll against you, that contributes to your next attack roll. So if somebody that you're playing against has a defensive roll of like 5, sorry, excuse me. So if you're hacking somebody and they have like a defensive roll of like 5 or less, that contributes to your next attack as like a bonus damage. As like a counter, you know what I mean? And if you put attack and defense together, then you'll have both, attack. You'll have both reflect and counter. So, also though, the first version of reflect, since it's more of a defensive based ability and not an attack based ability, the ability that you reflect won't be as strong as the hack that you got hacked by. It'll be like a lesser version because it's more defensive. It's not like you're an attacker and you have the same hack. But if you have the synergy of attack and defense, you'll be able to reflect any hack back at you, no matter if it's a hack that you don't have access to yet. Yeah. So cargo with the defensive ability. So since you're talking about cargo as like primary, let me show you what those are, because I kind of switched around that a little bit to make it a little bit more of a thing. So cargo, they're gonna be they're essentially gonna be like the ones that have access to like the legendary ships. Like cargo people are gonna be the ones that can use the wingman ships. Like they'll be able to use like they'll be able to like actually be able to buy like y'all ships in the store. You know what I mean? Like they'll have access to like most of the items that are like available. So like they'll essentially be the ones that have like specifically ships. They'll be the ones that but it's a trade-off because there's other things that they don't have access to. So essentially, like ships will be, I think having a unique ship will be a whole thing, but cargo will also allow you to have like two ships. But an extra decrypt a day and stuff like that. But yeah, okay. 30% shop. That's not correct. That's an oversight. Okay. Here's so yeah, she got it. Okay. Let me move a little faster. So, cargo, it's going to be really simple. Whenever, whenever you, I kind of thought about this today, so I'm thinking about this. This was probably going to be, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So cargo is going to be like this, right? The synergies for cargo is okay. My bad. Let me slow down. The spam mechanic that I built is for the comms category, right? It's their way. It's their primary way of like generating more core, right? The cargo people, they're going to have an ability called loot box, right? And so they'll get a one loot box each stream that they can open up, and it'll have a guaranteed amount of core, and it'll have certain percentages where they can get more core, and then a really tiny percentage where they can get like a common or uncommon streamware, right? Like name flame or something like that, right? So they'll get one of these per stream. Now, once they hit level 6 and they choose a synergy, each synergy that they go with, that where cargo is the primary, their loot boxes will have an upgraded version with that synergy. So if you are a cargo person with a attack secondary synergy, your loot box will now have like a like an attack. We'll come up with a name that your loot box is now more of like an attack based loot box, right? Like a weapon cache or something like that, right? So when you open up your weapon cache each day, you'll actually have an upgraded version, and you'll get more core essentially off base, but you'll also have a percentage not just to get only like uncommon and common streamware. You'll be able to get like uncommon and common like hacks, like attack hacks, right? That will pop up in your loot box, every once in a while. Now, it's the same thing essentially with the other two categories. With defense, if you are cargo first and defense second, your loot box will also then switch to like a defensive like kind of thing where you'll unlock more abilities. But to be honest, there's not a lot of defensive abilities that are going to be like more like hack abilities, you know what I mean? So essentially that's going to be definitely more of like vault space, like more vault storage first and foremost. But there might be some defense ability like armor plates or something, like because if that's defense, if you have the synergy between defense and cargo and defense, I'll probably make it to where you get armor plates in there every so often. But anyways, on top of everything else, and then for comms, yeah, I'll definitely make cargo and defense give you the most storage in the game for like making sure your stuff is safe. And then defense and comms, or sorry, cargo and comms, you'll get like more fonts and sound effects and like exclusive like chat effects in your loot box, like exclusive fonts and sound effects. I think I'm gonna make custom sound effects only possible via some sort of combination between uh, cargo and comms. Okay, badass, badass. That's essentially how it's gonna be. But whenever you synergize, like say if you do a cargo and attack and cargo synergy, so like cargo with attack, right, gives you more hacks in your loot box, right? And then attack with cargo allows you to potentially steal streamware from people whenever you hack them, right? But if you combine both of them together, what the ability that you get now is an increased amount of possibility to unlock a hack in your loot box, and then you also increase the type of streamware that you can get from somebody. So you can now potentially steal a rare streamware from somebody via a hack if you have that synergy of cargo and attack and cargo, you know. And then if you have like you know, we already know about the cargo and defense thing, and then cargo and comms. That synergy was either more core. It's gonna be something to do with the floods. You'll get more core from your floods, and you'll get more. Maybe you might be able to get streamware from your from the spam. There might be a percentage that you can get like a little like a streamware from that shit on top of the core if you synergize it. But yeah, stuff like that. There's more to it, honestly. There's like we pretty much went over defense and cargo. Yeah, it's about to be cool, man. And like you can see, it's simple. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be based off of like a very simple, basic, you know. So let's see. So with comms, I'll talk about comms a little bit. Yeah, comms. It's what flood cooldowns, or your spam cooldown is 50% faster. So you can spam like, yeah, twice as fast, pretty much twice as much. More core, essentially. There's more to it. This isn't finalized. This one isn't finalized. So with comms and attack, comms with attack will be like, I think comms with attack will be corrupting the core, and I think comms with attack will be stealth hacks for sure. So if you have comms with attacks, you'll be able to hack without being seen in the chat. That'll unlock that whole bit. Now if you do attack with comms, you'll be able to corrupt the core. And if you have the synergy of both, or sorry, my bad. If you have attack with comms, you'll be able to corrupt just the regular red core. And if you have the synergy, you'll be able to actually corrupt hypercore and get more core out of the person who tried to collect it. And then you'll also have a higher chance of not being detected via stealth, like hacking. And then comms and cargo is all about, like unique fonts and sound effects. Yeah, you came in at the right time, honestly. You'll get the hang of it. It's all not active yet. This is more just kind of like the framework for it. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, attack. I kind of talked a little bit about attack for each one of these. How like you can get, you know, um, you can get streamware from attacking people with cargo. You can counter people's moves with defense. You can corrupt the core with comms, and then you can attack is a critical hit. So last thing I'll say is attack is you'll have the ability to take, like, essentially if you're like the armored vault, right? Attack will be the only like counter to it, but it's not guaranteed. It's like they'll be the ones that can bypass all of the armor that you have. So if your defense cargo, somebody who's attack has a 15% chance to bypass all armor on a roll. So if they hit you with like a lucky shot and it's a critical hit, they can pretty much like take down like 2 lucky shots essentially. They essentially could like bypass all of it. Like say if you have like legendary armor and you have like 35 points of armor on top of like your 20-point base health and you're at like 55. Yeah. So yeah. But there is a slight drawback from attack where since you're not attack cargo, you're more you won't be able to steal like cargo from people. You'll be able to attack them though, unless you have like a certain hack that allows you to do that. Once you have like them vulnerable or something. It's coming together, man. Like I mentioned, I've already been building out the system. I just can't go live with it yet because it's not fully airtight. But I still gotta like solidify all of it. It's around like 65%. But it's like, as you see with all of these synergies, there's what, like 16 different playstyles just within the synergies, and then there's like also every 2 levels there's like a choice of like 1 of 2 abilities that you get to choose. So eventually with the skill trees, like people will be like different types. Some people will be able to corrupt core, some people will be able to scan the chat for anybody corrupting the chat. Some people will be on the other side filling up the matrix meter. Some people will be like using their loot box to uncover did I tell you the last thing about cargo? I said cargo would do the ships, right? Like you'll be able to have unique ships, but cargo will also give you in your loot box, it'll actually give you a unique loot box that gives you a chance to get a encrypted item. And I don't know if I mentioned before the encrypted item, but there are going to be items that have like 3 question marks on them that no one can open up until you decrypt the item. Or you can't equip, or you can't do anything with it until you decrypt the item. And the only way you can decrypt the item is by going to a level 7 cargo person The only people that can decrypt an item is at least a level 7 cargo person. And so the only people that can trade items also are at least level 5 cargo people. So essentially, just like I have my own shop with wares in it and like certain streamware, once you're a high enough level cargo person, you can pretty much create your own shop, essentially, where certain items that you might have that are unique that I'm not offering in the shop, you'll be able to trade with other people. But the only people that can actually initiate those trades are the people with the high enough cargo level. So essentially, y'all be able to, like, cargo people will essentially be able to make their own, their own like little money on the side. Yeah. So yeah, essentially they are like cargo people. You know what I mean? So like, they have a higher chance of getting items that are unique that no one else has, and being able to like sell, and create their own income, like, or their own like core economy from like based off of that stuff. But it also, like you said, it boosts community engagement. So like, you have to find another cargo person or wait for the first person to level up to a cargo 7, and then they'll be the ones that get to make all a little extra bread off of everybody else who's been making bread off of hacking and like building, lurking and spamming meter and shit. Yeah, exactly. And you can like bargain with them, they'll be the only ones that can trade. So right now, with y'all getting all this core, y'all are essentially going to be the ones that are kind of the leaders in the whole like system. You know what I mean? Like in y'all's respective like play styles. So y'all get to pretty much create your own play styles. But I think each category will have something that's unique and like, So if you want to be a healer, you can be a healer. If you want to, like look clean, you can look clean. I appreciate you, Jax. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to everybody who's here watching the stream at this time of day or night, wherever you are. I thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. Thank you, Jax. I hope you get some good rest, man. It's much needed. I know I'm about to lock in. I've been taking my sweet time, unfortunately. But this stuff has been like just sitting on my head too. Thank you, Jax. Yeah, you want to be a healer? All right, tight. Definitely a defense type. Or defense cargo type. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I'm really excited. Like I know I can build it, and I know I can build it based off of everything that I already have access to, and I know how to do so. This song is a vibe. Shout out to that side of the world.
That makes the wine. I like that.
Alright, chat. I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna let this render out some more. I cannot fight my sleep right now. Y'all take care, get some rest, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all for pulling up and showing so much love to the stream, as always, for real, for real. I'll see y'all tomorrow. What's up, y'all? I am sleepy as hell, so much love. We'll get going a little earlier tomorrow. Take care, y'all. W. Advancement.